What is up, everybody? Today, Canon released a new camera. So let's talk about it. Today, Canon released the R6 Mark II, which is a pretty solid looking camera. Let's talk about what it has and who it's for. So to start, the price, the big bajunga, it's $24.99 USD, which is the same as the original R6, but that means the original R6 will be going on sale, and at the time of this video is on sale for I think $22.99, so a few $100s off for an older camera. And we'll talk about who it's for in a little bit so that you know if you should get the old one or the new one. So to get started with the specs, this camera has a 24.2 megapixel sensor, which is around 4 megapixels more than the original, which gives it a little bit more resolution, which we'll get into. It has the same processor as the R6, and it has a few other really cool features that could be very beneficial. Now, most of these features that it has are video centric, which is good for us videographers. Photographers, I can't really say there's too many more features, but there are a few. So it still has 12 FPS, frames per second, in photo shooting mode when you use the mechanical shutter, but now it has 40 frames per second in electronic shutter, 40, whereas the old one I believe had 20. So we're doubling the amount of frames per second. That's like, I can't do that. But it takes a lot of photos, so you will not miss the shot you need. It has a new and improved autofocusing system, the dual pixel CMOS autofocusing 2, that realistically is very similar to the R3, where it can detect faces, people, cars, animals, etc. Whereas the old R6 could only do, I believe, just faces, which is very beneficial for photo and video, so that you just focus, take a picture, no more trying to tap on your screen to make sure you got the right focus point. And that's really it for benefits on photo, where the autofocusing one is both for photo and video, but it does benefit both. So let's talk about some new video specs that are pretty good. We've got the new and improved 4K 60 oversampled from 6K. So we're getting some more crispy looking footage from this 4K image. It is still 10-bit internal recording, which is great. It's most likely going to be IPB because you're using a normal SD card, not a CF Express. They don't have the full spec sheet out yet, so I can't tell you if it has any other thing like that. It does also do 6K 60 RAW, but that's only with an external recorder. You're gonna need something like a Ninja or some external recorder that can utilize RAW. But 6K 60 10-bit RAW in C-Log 3, whereas the other one only had C-Log 1. That's pretty cool. And lastly, it does 1080 at 180 frames per second. That's pretty quick. That's a lot of frames in a second. You could sneak some of those into a 4K clip and you probably wouldn't be able to notice the difference. Maybe a little bit, you know, you and I maybe, but the normal people of the world, probably not. So that's a pretty cool feature, some super slow motion-ness. Two more things. One, it has a little switch-a-do. Instead of, you know, the on-off button being right here, it has a switch to go from photo to video, which I don't know why Canon didn't do this for all of their R series, because you know how annoying it is to go from photo and video clicking 16 different buttons, whereas now it's just a boop, little switch. So that needs to be added in every new Canon camera, I hope. And then lastly, the big one, the cool one, no 30-minute record limit anymore. And this is not really a surprise because the R7 and R10 both got rid of this. So if they came out with an R6 Mark II and they still said there's a 30-minute record limit, we'd probably be kind of mad about that, because that would make zero sense that a $1,000 camera has no record limit, but this $2,500 camera does. Come on, great Canon, please update the other cameras. Who is this for? I would say if you are a photographer and this is your main camera, I would not see the complete need to upgrade to the Mark II, but for the price that it is at, being the same as the R6, there's really no reason not to get that one unless the original R6 was like super cheap, like we're talking $500–600 off. Otherwise, you might as well get the other features that come with the R6 Mark II. if you're a videographer, there's no doubt in my mind that this is the camera for you. Unless you're already using something like an R5 or an R3, then this would be a good maybe B or C camera, but there's really no need to upgrade unless you're using the R6, because that oversampled 6K and the extra frame rate and the ability to do 6K is very beneficial and useful if you are a filmmaker. So I would say this camera is really for everybody, unless you can find the R6 at a really good price. But that's it for this one, and I'll see you on the next one.